While I'm at it and have nothing better to do, why don't we take a look at some of the differences between the first and last year of Soviet SKS production. Now in front of you I have a 1949 SKS at the top and a 1955-56 SKS at the bottom. Both are Tula made, and I'll just run through some of the easy to spot differences between these two. The 55-56, of course, last year of production. All the refinements had been made by this point. This is as good as the SKS design got in the Soviet Union. Now it's pretty easy to tell a 1949 model in contrast to this. A lot of early differences from beginning to the end of production, but from 49 to 56 you can clearly see all the big jumps in technology that they made. So we'll start out with the bayonet mount. Here's a close-up of the 59 or 55 bayonet mount. You can see it's got an angled cut here that makes the bayonet a little bit easier to spring out and engage in the field in a hurry. It also has a lightning cut here on the mount, just a little scallop cut out to save a bit of weight. Moving to the 1949, you can see there's no lightning cut and the ear is straight cut. Makes it a little bit tougher to whip out in a hurry, but I imagine if you're a Soviet and you're even thinking about going into battle, your commissar would probably have your bayonet extended for you anyway. But there's a major difference first to last. Moving on to the gas block, here's our 1949. It's called a 90-degree gas block, similar to what you see on a lot of AKs. It taps straight up off the barrel, turns 90 degrees, and on down the gas system. Now the later model, this started in late 1952 to 1953, has a little scallop in it. 1950-51, they were straight back at a 45-degree angle. Later on you see this scallop look. Why they changed to this design, I'm not sure, but it works well. You also see the blade bayonet here on our 55-56. The 49, first year production, they came originally with this spike. Now this being a refurbed rifle, it's actually had the barbecue treatment done to it, so the bayonet is black. Originally, of course, it would have been silver. You can see here that the bayonet in spike form is quite a bit longer than the blade. I'll just tip them up here. You can see that the tip of the spike bayonet goes almost to the front of the magazine. Now moving to the later rifle, you can see there's quite a bit larger gap. I don't have the measurements, you can find those online, but quite a bit of difference. The spike was a lot longer and would create a lot nastier wound if you were to get poked with it. So, not that you'd want to get stabbed by either one of these things, but there it is. Let's take a look at the gas blocks. Now by 1955-56, they pretty much had their machining down. You can see there's a nice scalloped cut here for lightning, and you can actually see a little bit of daylight between the gas block and the barrel shank. Now on the 49, much simpler cuts. There's just a bit cut out of there. It fits very tight to the barrel. No daylight visible. You'll also notice here on the receiver there's just a scallop cut and an angle. Simple machining. They were just getting going on production. They went with what worked, nice, beefy, and solid. On your later rifle, this is curved. This whole unit here is a curve, much more complex machining, and stepped out here, definitely lighter overall, and definitely just as durable. They just advanced their procedures as time went by. Let's flip them over. So now we've got 49 on the bottom, 55 on the top. With the 49, it has the early style takedown latch on the receiver. There's actually a hole right through here. The later models, just a straight tab with a indent that's not present on the earlier model. This one's also a little bit longer too. They changed that up right after the first year. You can see in the bolt in 1949, very simple oval cut here on the bolt carrier, not very deep and smoothed out. By 1955-56, you can see the ribs in the machining here, a little bit deeper too, not by much, but a little bit deeper. The extractor is a little bit different as well. Different firing pin. The 49 is a spring-loaded firing pin. Different method of retaining it. Free floating in the 1955 model. The takedown latch for the gas block. Here's your late model 1955. Just a straight lever with two ear dimples on either side. This is the early lever. One dimple instead of two. And it actually has a little tab here, which I find much more useful for unloading the thing, for getting the gas block open and getting the piston out, all the rest of it. There are also differences in the trigger groups on these. Now, I don't have time to disassemble the rifles today, but there are definite differences in the trigger group. And one of the easiest ways to tell early from late is that the early models don't have a spring on the safety lever. When you move the safety, it just it'll stay pretty much wherever you put it. There's no real tension to it. It's just mechanical tension of the press fit. It definitely stays where you put it. On the 1955 model, or any later model, this is under spring tension. You can see that it really just snaps back and forth. That's about it. That's your major differences. With the spike stock, you can tell it's also a little bit thinner through this area where the bayonet mounts. Later stocks are more pot-bellied, easier to hang on to. Heavier, but easier to hang on to than this. That is about it. That's your major differences. If you come across a rifle like this, 1949 in any shape or form is a pretty rare bird. So if you can find it at a decent price, grab it up. This is definitely not the best example of a 1949 out there, but a 49 is a 49. So hopefully that helps you with some early versus late differences. I hope it helped anybody that's interested in these things. There you go. Have a good day, everybody.